The world center of racing, Daytona International Speedway, provided the opening round of the 2019 ATV Motocross Championship and a gateway to great action. The Supercross-style course led to plenty of bumps and bangs, but not for Joel Hetrick, who checked out early and pulled away. The story wasn't the same for his rival Chad Wienen, who high-centered a berm and had to charge super hard to get back into podium position and pass fellow Yamaha rider Thomas Brown. Brown gave Wienen all he had, indicating that years of Hetrick versus Wienen challenge for the title could include new contenders for the new season. And we'll shake things up further today, because round 2 in Texas is a motocross track instead of a supercross track, and we're racing in the rain. Better bring that wakeboard, Joel Hetrick. You might need it. Round 2 of the ATV National Motocross Championship. Next. Underground Motocross in Kemp, Texas, round 2 of the ATV National Motocross Championship, sanctioned by AMA Pro Racing. Beautiful track, very friendly to four-wheeled ATV motocross. But Mother Nature is threatening today. Clouds have been swirling all weekend. You see sometimes the sunshine comes out and the conditions are perfect. We got the Pit Quad event going on. Everyone having a good time with that. But soon it will be time to turn serious with our pro racing, and there is Texas's own Thomas Brown. He would love to get a win in his home state today, but there are other contenders to watch. Hey, Nick Janusa on the number 15 looked racy at our opener in Daytona. Here is Hayden Mickelson's Honda. He is looking to make some strides. Cody Ford and Ford Brothers Racing. The white number 52 looks good. 741, Wesley Wolf out of Maryland. He could be a podium guy. He's moved into top 5 style contention. That was Jaron Cochran's machine. He's a rookie. Brandon Hogue, also new to the pro class. Everyone checking out the track here. Wesley Lewis on the number 79. He'll be a contender. Dylan Tramelin on the 940. Root River Racing riders got some experience. We'll see what he can do today. There's Chad Wienen, not probably the season opener that your defending series champ wanted in Daytona, looking for better things in Texas.
You know, Daytona didn't go the way that I would have wanted to, but it could have gone way farther south than what it did. And for me to manage the 3rd place out of that race was a very good effort on my end, but I made the mistakes myself. But man, I know what I got to do. I got nothing to protect. So now it's all about out to get something. And looking like some inclement weather coming in, but we're gonna be ready for anything. That Yamaha is good in any condition, so we're gonna give everything we got and hopefully come home with a good result.
Jeffrey Rastrelli, boy was he racy along with Thomas Brown, challenging Wienen big time at the opener in Daytona. Let's see what the number 28 has in store today.
Hey guys, Jeffrey Rastrelli here in Kemp, Texas at Underground MX for the 2nd round of the ATV Motocross Series. Coming off a 2nd place at Daytona, which was awesome, of course, being my home race, and you know, coming out here trying to keep the ball rolling and keep these good finishes and keep these guys the championship in sight and keep these guys honest. And you know, in past years, I've finished 2nd in Daytona and came here and kind of you know, I wouldn't say failed, but didn't do like I wanted to. And you know, this year feeling really good coming here and really confident, and watched a lot of footage before we came here, and you know, I really figured out my weak spots, I think, and man, I just really look forward to getting on the track you know, today, and it should be really good.
Well, it would be good to have Jeffrey right there in the hunt. And how pumped is this guy, the Texas native Thomas Brown? Can he get the win at his home track? We'll be racing next. ATV Motocross is brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATV MC and by Maxxis. Let's roll them out for some qualifying here at Underground MX in Kemp, Texas. Jason Wygant giving it the call here on MAV TV. There's Thomas Brown, Joel Hetrick, ready indeed to rip it up. Now our qualifiers, this is both practice and time qualifying, and when you want to put the stopwatch to it, it's very hard to beat this man. Joel Hetrick, be he the defending champ or this year back to his customary number 88 and trying to get the title back. This year on the Phoenix Racing Honda team, it doesn't matter. He's always so fast under the watch. We'll see if Rastrelli or Wienen here can match him. Look at the air time. Not a lot of elevation change naturally here in Texas, but they sure make up for it with the big jumps. Thomas Brown giving the people what they want to see. The threatening sky is something to think about as Nick Janusa airs it out. Alan Myers out of New Jersey putting the power down. Wesley Wolf, look at the roots being slung out of the back of that Honda. And not to be outdone, Brandon Hogue on the 26. Good to see Ronnie Higgerson back in action with a 665, getting his racing legs back underneath him. This is the guy who's knocked on the door of podiums in the past. Sammy Rowe coming through. Wow, that was, I just cannot get over the air that they are getting on this track right now. And then Hayden Mickelson showing how rough it gets down in the corners. So you got to go for it, go fast, but you also have to handle the technical stuff as well. Cody Ford on the 52, backing her in. Dylan Tremelin. There you go. Well, on board there. You get to see exactly what it's like to go very fast with Joel Hedrick on the Phoenix Racing Honda, but you also see some raindrops falling on the helmet cam. How will that affect his plans today? Can Hedrick make it back-to-back wins to start the season? Let's find out.
It's looking like it's going to be a good weekend. Everything's clicking. You know, I feel really good. We're definitely in contention for another podium spot this weekend. Hopefully it's in the center of the box. If not, we'll just get out of here with a podium and hopefully maintain the points lead. I have no reason to really, push as hard as I can, especially in the mud, because that's when you make mistakes. And I just want to have solid finishes. If I can win a moto, I'll take it. If not, I'm going to maintain and be smart. But I'm going to win just like everyone else. And the goal this year is to win as much as I can. So that's my plan.
Okay, a little bit of a podium focus for Hedrick, and you can see why. Now the skies have finally opened up. I don't think Janusa likes it there. Chad Wienen surveying it. How will this affect things? Stay with us. ATV Motocross is brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATV MC and by Maxxis. Well, some discussion here. Jeffrey Rastrelli and Joel Hedrick and the rest of the field trying to figure out what are we going to do with these conditions. They've actually delayed the first moto due to lightning a bit. That is at least cleared, but the track is a quagmire, and that could affect things drastically. Start's always important in motocross, but more than ever in a mud race, and it's Texas native Thomas Brown out front early. And Brown is ultra prepared. I see the flap there in the back of the goggles. I bet you he is running the double goggle trick. He's got a lap one pair. If he gets roosted, he'll just toss them. He'll have a whole new fresh set of tear-offs or roll-offs. Right behind him, I think it's Hedrick bumping and banging around. Chad Wienen making the move. These guys want to beat each other badly on any normal race day, but in the mud, they definitely do not want to be catching the mud from behind each other, so they are really jockeying for it. Hedrick locking down the number 2 position early. Well, this is a great scenario. Too often we see Thomas Brown coming through traffic and runs out of time to try to put a real challenge to Wienen and Hedrick. Now they've got to catch him. It's his home state. If they get real close, we'll just cover them in mud. And Brown was very feisty at our opener in Daytona. So he's got the speed, wet or dry. This is going to be fun to watch. Everyone else coming through, and I'm just going to be honest, it is going to be nearly impossible to figure out the numbers on the machine. So you can tell by the riding style, at least in these top 3. Once you get beyond that, they're a lot more muddy. The further back in the field you go, the more roosts they're going to collect. The lap time data says it's Cody Ford and Wesley Wolf, 4th and 5th right now. Hedrick not exactly closing in a hurry on your leader, so this is a good run for Thomas Brown. Brown fighting his way through the mud, takes a look over his shoulder. Like I said, not much pressure yet from Hedrick, who has also shed Wienen And there's the battle. Ford, nice job by him. He's got Wesley Wolf, as I mentioned, right with him as Brown tries to get away. Pivotal moment, not just in this race, but I'd say in this championship. Yes, I know it's muddy, so maybe a little caveat or asterisk on this performance, but with the way Thomas Brown challenged Chad Wienen at our opener in Daytona, and then to come out here, if he wins his moto straight up with the two best in the game right behind him, oh, Ronnie Hagerson is out, and you've got to figure that this mud is going to wreak havoc on these machines. But if Brown can hold on, that is going to be huge. Wait a minute, though, he doesn't make that big triple. And Joel Hetrick now has him in his sights. So maybe Hetrick was waiting to put on the attack. Thing about Brown, though, he is a salty dog. He's been at this a long time, and he is going to make it difficult, or as difficult as he can. Well, so much for that. Back-to-back mistakes. I figured he would fight Hetrick for all he was worth, but if you make bobbles, there's not much you can do. You can't make the ATV wide if you're all the way out in the slop. So Joel Hetrick says thank you very much. He's trying to regain control of this championship, this series, and this race day. Nick Janusa, now another victim of the mud here in Texas. I suppose for the leaders now, the question is, can their machines hold on? ATV Motocross is brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATV MC and by Maxxis. Welcome back to the show. Jason Wygant giving you the call. Joel Hetrick leading the way round 2 of the 2019 ATV National Motocross Championship. We're at Underground MX in Texas. Joel Hetrick had to fight for this one in the mud, was second behind that man, Thomas Brown. Brown looked to have him covered, but a couple of mistakes allowed Hetrick to get the lead. Now we focus back on the battle for fourth. Jeffrey Rastrelli, who was nowhere off the start, has started to close up, making a late dash for fourth. Nick Janusa, we saw his Gen USA machine out before he went to break. He's now getting towed back to the pits. We'll see if he can get that fixed. The entire race schedule today was pushed back due to the weather and threats of lightning. Now we are racing, but there's going to be less time than ever for them to get these machines prepared for the second moto. Thomas Brown holding his own. Not a real challenge from Chad Wienen, your defending series champion. Might he have to settle for third? One lap to go for Hetrick. And for Hetrick, a redemption year. Had the points lead for most of 2018, but then a derailed chain at our season finale at Loretta Lynn's in Tennessee pushed him to a 12th place finish. That allowed Chad Wienen to leapfrog him in the points and win it by the slimmest of margins. So Hetrick, he's got revenge on the mind all season long, and he's making it look good. He's won our opener. Sammy Rowe, the next one. I'd say he just got high centered in that rut, but obviously he's having trouble starting the machine as well. So the mud wreaking havoc. Hetrick trying to bring it home and continue to stretch his early season points lead. And he's got it in sight right now. Shout out to Brown, though, still struggling with that right-hander, but good enough to hold off Wienen. And that's a breakthrough in its own right. You never know what's going to happen. We'll have a second moto coming up later on. But Joel Hetrick takes Moto 1 here at Underground. There's your results. How about Wesley Wolf holding off Rastrelli for fourth? It's a breakthrough. We're going to reset, re-rack, and go to the line for Moto 2. There's Brown. You already saw Wienen and Hetrick, and the track no better. If, as a matter of fact, I think it's actually worse for this second moto. Let's go racing. And Brown does it again. Down to the inside. No, Dylan Tremella, nice job around the outside, and he's fist pumping all the way. I believe that's the first hole shot I've seen Dylan get. And what a time to do it in a mud race. He's going to be slinging roost in everyone else's face. Awesome job by the 940 to control this one early, but Brown uses the outside. Great job to get around. I believe that's Hetrick and Wienen stacked up, third and fourth. So Thomas Brown had the early lead in Moto 1. He wants to do it again here in Moto 2 and try to get away. Looks like Hetrick has made the move to second, but Chad Wienen blows by him. A subpar ride, a distant third for Wienen in Moto 1. He has bounced back with a vengeance. They have pushed Tremelin back to fourth. And I cannot believe they're still tripling that thing with standing water on the face of the jump. Wienen now closing in on Brown. Wienen needs to get some points back in this moto. This is his golden opportunity. He already passed Hetrick. Can he get Brown? Brown is airing out every jump on this track. Look at Hetrick working the inside line on Wienen. Going to go for it again. Brown to look over his shoulder. That's what he wants to see. These two battling each other, maybe slowing each other up. Brandon Hogue now out. That machine is locked up. I'm telling you, these conditions have wreaked havoc on a lot of riders, but the top three are running at full song right now. Thomas Brown continuing to air it out. ATV Motocross is brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATV MC and by Maxxis. Thomas Brown continues to lead. Chad Wienen and Joel Hetrick struggling in third after winning the first moto. Oh, and we can see why. That is roll-off film hanging out of the back of the goggles of Hetrick, so his roll-offs have broken. So his vision is going to be seriously compromised. He basically just has a lens now and a mistake. Wesley Wolf, Hayden Mickelson, a good battle. That was Wolf, strong fourth in the first moto. Not a good start here, trying to move up. Wolf was 12th on lap 1, so he has passed half of the riders in front of him. Thomas Brown, your leader, keeps jumping the big tabletop triple in the center of the track. He's got another little double on the infield that he's doing as well, and that is making it awfully tough for Chad Wienen to put pressure on. And then we know that Hetrick is dealing with the vision problems. So the door is open. If Thomas Brown, with 2 laps to go, can hold on and win this moto, he will be your overall winner with 2-1 scores. Wienen would have a third and a second, Hetrick a first and a third. Could this be the day and the year maybe for Brown to take that step? He has been knocking on the door of Wienen and Hetrick. There's another. That's that big infield jump I was telling you. Now Hetrick airing it out. My bad, that's actually, he's tripling Brown and Hetrick, where Wienen is only doubling. Not a huge gain in time, but just enough probably to keep some of the pressure off. We have seen Wienen be able to make his way around his friend Thomas Brown several times the last few years, but he couldn't get it in Moto 1, and he's running out of time to get it in Moto 2. This would be huge for Thomas Brown on his Yamaha if he can get it done. And I think the vision problems, yeah, the goggles are now gone for Hetrick. The vision problems have cost him big time. He's going to have to settle for a third. Remember, at the top of the show, with a lap to go now, we did talk to Hetrick, and he said the goal today, don't screw up the beginning of the season. It's only round 2. Get on the box. And I think he's had to resort to that plan. Listen to that. Big time engine problems, and now he's just hoping he can nurse that quad to the finish line. So it has all fallen in the hands of Thomas Brown, but you have to give him credit. Not only 2 great starts, a quick pass early on this one on your whole shot rider, Dylan Tremelin, and still jumping the big jumps all the way down to the last lap in the mud. Oh no, Hetrick. I don't know if he's going to make it. The mud wreaking havoc. That's a lap rider there, but Jeffrey Rastrelli is trying to close in and inherit third. Maybe he can get around Hetrick, or maybe Hetrick won't even make it to the finish. But this rider will. Thomas Brown delivers in his home state. And Chad Wienen wasn't able to get him on this day, and that is a huge win. And the first man to congratulate him is his good buddy. Look, there is Rastrelli trying to close in on Hetrick. Hetrick's down on power. He's just trying to get to the line. He's not going to put up a fight. And Rastrelli from way back steals third. Hetrick's got to be just relieved to make it to the line and not lose too many points. And he's still going to finish second overall thanks to that first moto win. Here are our winners.
This place has been like, not really my kryptonite, but definitely not one of my stronger tracks. Seems like I can't ever put two motos together. Today we made it happen. The CST, T-Brown Training, Yamaha worked awesome. And man, like I said, this new motor package that they put a lot of work in just absolutely killed it. So I can't wait for the rest of the year. I'm super excited. You know, I'm just out of words. Hopefully we can pull a few more of these off this year and battle these boys for the championship. We want to put our name in this fight for all year.
The rain came down like no other. It was insane, to be honest. And you know, they did pretty good work with the track for the circumstances, but I made it. The Honda finished up for me, and I'm super happy to be on the podium in second spot. I got 5 points on Thomas, I believe now, and we're heading into Ironman with the red plate. Can't be happier to finish this race off in second position and go to one of my favorite tracks.
Kind of tough day with the rain coming in, and man, the conditions were tough and just tougher out there, but I was able to make some improvements at second moto and come out with a second place finish and stalked Thomas the whole race, made advances on him, but I just couldn't quite make a move, and just taking on so much roost today and hard on the machine. But my Yamaha ran good all day, and hats off to my team and everybody that supports me, and we're gonna push on to Ironman and hopefully we get some good weather there.
Let's go to the Maxxis race recap. Thomas Brown, whole shot in Moto 1, and I thought he had this. Hedrick was not applying a ton of pressure. Other riders were having bike troubles like Ronnie Higgerson, but then a pair of mistakes, one over a jump and one in that corner, opened the door for Hedrick to steal the lead. Nick Janusa with engine problems, Hedrick with the Moto win. Oh, you had to figure that Brown was fired up to get in Moto 2. Dylan Trammell in the whole shot, quick pass. Brown takes the lead. Wienen and Hedrick right there. This is the key. This big triple, everyone did it early. Brandon Hogue goes out with bike problems. Late in the race, Brown kept jumping. Hedrick had goggle and then machine problems. And through it all, Thomas Brown kept the gas on all the way to the finish to win the Moto. Hedrick struggling, machine misfiring. Jeff Rastrelli steals third in the Moto from him, but the overall, Hedrick still second, Wienen third, but a huge win for Thomas Brown. From everyone at Racer TV, congrats to him. We'll see you next week.